G'day folks, welcome to the FifeLife Australian Canary Hobby and a channel that's dedicated to keeping canaries in Australia, aimed towards the hobbyist and the canary curious. If this is your first time joining us on the channel, my name's Mike, these are my fifes, and this is a really big smile on my face because we are in full swing here in the breeding season in the shed, and I'm going to tell you just about how it's all going, and well, going by the smile on my face, I'm sure you can tell it's going bloody fantastic. All right, we have had a fantastic start to the season, which for someone like myself, after a little bit of a rough trot the last couple of years trying to breed boarders up here in the tropics, I'm very pleased to say that I've found my fancy, and the fifes are just doing fabulous. So sit back, and I hope that you enjoy some of the footage I've got for you. A couple little things that I want to talk about. It hasn't been without a few thrills and spills along the way, and a little bit of a meltdown on my behalf. So I want to talk about the importance of having mentors and the importance of, just hanging in there. Because this being the start of the season really for all of us here in Australia, and some of us are just about to get started, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that you may not have the season that you'd hoped for, and I've certainly had a few of those, but I just want to make sure that everyone understands how important it is to hang in there. And if you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps as I was when we had a few little moments here in the shed to begin with, reach out, talk to your mentors, and if you need to, watch some videos on my channel, hopefully for a bit of inspiration, or on the other channels out there, because there really is some great stuff getting around at the moment, and the canary hobby is benefiting from all of that. So sit back and enjoy, and journal number 13, let's go. Alrighty, and before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, as we always do, we do our shout-outs, and I've got a couple of really special ones today. The first shout I want to do is to my beautiful wife. Kath, you're a legend, and I love you, and she and my daughter Indy, they've been through the ups and downs of the hobby with me. They've seen the highs, they've seen the lows. There can be a bit of a dark cloud over the house when things aren't going right with hobbies that you invest a lot of time in. But my darling wife, you've been so supportive, and through the first round here in the shed, Kath's been helping me feed the birds around the clock, coming down here and helping with keeping a very good food schedule and feeding of the chicks. So I couldn't do this without you, darling, and I just wanted to say a very big thank you. Now, also, a very special one. Now, you would have heard this name mentioned before, and that's Mr. Graham Davis. He's from Snooker Aces Fifes. Graham, I just can't thank you enough, mate. You're always checking in on me. You're always full of praise. You've got some wonderful tips and pointers and a lot of experience, and you're sharing that with me. So I really appreciate that. And to show my appreciation, what I've wanted to do is I'm going to make Graham the latest addition to our Australian Fife Club of New South Wales. That's our International Members Lounge, and Graham, I welcome you aboard. The FifeLife is going to sponsor your membership, so my way of saying thank you to you is to induct you into the club and say welcome aboard, mate, and I'd really like you to have a look at what we're doing and provide feedback to myself, Club President Andrew, and the other board members as well. So thank you so much, Graham, and also thank you to all my mentors. They're the people I've mentioned on the channel repeatedly before. You guys know who you are, but thank you so much for that little pick-me-up when it went pear-shaped for a couple of days. Alright, before I get into the main topic, I thought I'd throw a new little bit in the show, only because someone made a comment, and that's Susie at the club, the Australian Fife Club in New South Wales, made a comment. She made a comment about this mug, and she said, "Oh, Mike, what does the nest pans come with a handle?" And I said, "Oh no, that's just my beloved soup cup, and I've been using this for a few years now. But it's fantastic to sit the nest pans in, and it makes carrying them around, for someone that's a bit of a klutz like me. I'm pretty clumsy and I'm a bit of a Gumby. I'm also pretty heavy-handed with stuff. It just makes everything so much safer and so much easier. So the soup mug, it was the inspiration now for me to put a little handy hints section together. It's a new part of the show, and I'm just going to show you how I handle the eggs. And in doing so, I'm going to talk about the use of this little bad boy here. Because as I said, I'm a little bit heavy-handed. I'm pretty Gumby, and over the years I have broken a few eggs. Egg tongs, I know people like to use those, and power to you, but for me, I find I can sometimes put a little bit too much pressure. I have actually dropped an egg using the tongs, and my hands, look, you know, if I'm had a bit too much caffeine, I've had a few too many coffees, I can be a little bit shaky and what have you. So this is the way I do it. A little video for you to watch, and I hope it's a nice little handy hint, and I'm going to make that part of the episodes moving forward. Enjoy. Okay, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of the episode, which is a little bit of an update on the breeding season, and going to run through and just let you know a little bit of where we're at. I've got some notes here so I don't miss anything. But before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the trials and tribulations and you know, where it all started to kind of go wrong, and it sent me in a little bit of a downward spiral. So I want to talk to everyone about that. It was why the channel was paused for a little while. Because I did have some serious doubts when I had a few issues arise that I'm a fraud, I don't know what I'm doing, oh no, not again, coming off the back of having, you know, 3 pretty challenging seasons with the boarders, and last year was a nightmare, hence why I brought the Fifes in, but I really had some self-doubt and I was feeling pretty down. Now what happened was, in the last episode, the full episode that I did, I launched the breeding season, and I pulled the dividers out that late afternoon and evening. Now in doing that, what transpired was a very unseasonal weather change hit Townsville. And at this time of year we normally have beautiful weather, but what came through was a heavy rain system, and for 3 days we had very heavy rain, we had thunderstorms and lightning, and it really did just seem to knock the wind out of the sails, particularly with the cockbirds. And I put that down to why potentially I had 2 nests that were clear, because I think they were the first 2 hens to go to nest. And then I also have just had now a couple of pairs just starting the first round, which is, considering the lighting, considering everything I'd done, and considering how quick the other hens had built up and were ready, very unusual. So to my mentors, and particularly to Matt and Andrew, thanks so much for the pick-me-up, guys. I was pretty flat, and yeah, look, and now that I am where I am with the shed just absolutely pumping full of new life, I'm feeling pretty good about things. So I don't feel like a fraud now. Now, to do a little review, I wrote down some notes just so I don't forget, and I just want to talk about you know, where we're at. And in the shed here, I've got 13 pairs. That's what I was running in the first round. I've also got a cock and a trio of hens out in the aviary. Now, they are just starting. They have just started to build up. They're not under the lights. The lights now are running from 6 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. So I've got 13 and a half hours of daylight, and that really seems to be making a huge difference this year. So the first round, where are we at right now? I've got 32 chicks, and I'm thrilled to say that. That's from 9 pairs that went to nest successfully. As I said, I had 2 clear nests, and I lost 2 eggs to a cockbird. Now, this is part of the reason why I also was down in the dumps. The first hen to lay, 2 consecutive days, the cockbird destroyed the eggs. I wasn't sure if it was him. I couldn't figure out if they were maybe just, you know, she was just laying them on the floor and they were breaking. And then I caught him pulling at nesting material. And he was harassing her a bit. So I've kicked him out. He's in timeout. I probably won't even use that cockbird again because I just don't want that to happen. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the traits in the cockbirds I've seen this year, because they've been a little bit crazy. But, so we've got 2 clear nests. We lost 2 eggs to a cock. I've got two late starters. I've just set their nest today, and they're both on 4 eggs. And that includes little Esme. She's behind the camera, but little Esme, our green ring sweetheart, she finally built a nest. It took her, about 3 weeks. She built it one strand at a bloody time, but she got there. And look, if a green ring bird, if I can get one round out of her, and she's a sweetheart, she's a beautiful little bird, I'll be absolutely thrilled. So we'll see what happens. As of this morning, out of the 32 chicks that are in the shed, 25 of them have been rung. So we're looking pretty good. They're nice and healthy. They're big chicks. The feeding schedule that I've been doing is I'm up at 6 o'clock and I'm giving them their first feed of the day. And then I'm home at about 10:30 in the morning after my morning shifts for work and training dogs. So at 10:30 they're fed again. Before I leave for an evening, around 3:30, I'm feeding them again. And God bless my wife, as I said in the shout-outs, Kathy's feeding them for their last feed of the day at 6:30 p.m. So we're pumping the food into them. They are growing very quick. We haven't lost a chick yet. And I'm being very mindful that, look, they are livestock and it may happen, but with that start and considering what's happening out in the aviary and with the 2 nests that have been built up a little bit late in the first round here, we could go over 40 in the first round. How good's that? I'm blown away, coming off the back of last year where 10 pairs, I got 12 chicks, I lost a few chicks. So the goal was, when I first launched the breeding season, was 50. I've just ordered more rings and said to Andrew, hey mate, I think I might need a few more. So I'm just so excited. I can't wipe the smile off my face. So, and thank you to everyone. Now I think one of the things that's contributed to what has just been an awesome start is obviously, I think, the lighting. Having the lighting right is super important. 13 and a half hours. Once I went from sort of just under 13 and we clicked over to the 13, 15 minutes, and then I bumped it up to the 3.5, it just seemed to change in here. The hens just seemed to really change gears and they were just firing. The other thing, and I'm going to talk about breeding aid pros and cons. I think it's done a great job to get the hens ready and get conditioned on the birds in general and have them really ready for breeding. But I actually think this stuff has sent a few of the cockbirds a bit crazy, because in some of the cages you will notice that there's dividers, and that's where I've had to separate the cocks because they're just at it. They're at the hens, they're climbing all over them, they're trying to, send them back into mating, and it's just it'll be a problem. So pros and cons, yes, this stuff's really good, but I think I started giving it about 3 months before the breeding season. I think I might have gone a bit hot on that, and consequently some of the cockbirds are cooked. But anyway, now the other thing, Soluvite D. Now I have previously spoken about this product. It does help with calcium intake, so it's very, very good. I was using the standard one, but I upped it to the Soluvite D breeder. The birds have been getting this about twice a week, and the other thing that vitamin D does, and Ollie spoke about this on his OC Aviary channel, is it stimulates the pituitary gland. And that's very important in fertility and in the breeding season. So using this more potent one, I'm going to say, I've got just almost every nest in here except for the one that I had the 2 smashed eggs are 4s, and I've got a 5, and I've got 1 nest out of the whole lot that's a 3. So I'm going to say that I think this stuff has had something to do with it. Look, the birds are just in awesome condition. And the other thing that I'm doing, as we all should be at this time of year, is I'm putting calcium in the water. They're getting calcium twice a week. So I have 2 days on with this, then just normal water for a day, 2 days on with this, and then normal water for a day, and that's kind of the cycle of what I'm doing, and it seems to be working really, really well. All right, guys, I don't want to be in the shed too long, as I said. So there's the update, there's the breeding season so far. For everyone out there who is starting your breeding season in Australia, I wish you the best of luck. If it doesn't go your way, don't be down in the dumps. Yes, you'll be disappointed, but just know you've got to hang in there. Talk to your mentors, and to all of those senior fanciers out there, look after the new guys, because I've had people really look after me, and it's made a world of difference. The pick-me-ups and the dust-offs and the get back into it, that's what this hobby's about. look, get the right birds in your shed, and I think that the choice that I made to get the Fifes in my shed, it's paying massive dividends, and I'm just absolutely blown away by what they're doing in the shed here. We've never had a season like this. It is an absolute blinder. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to like, share and subscribe. You can follow a lot of the updates and the little bits in between. Very thankful that the Australian Fife Club of New South Wales are letting me use their Facebook page as a bit of a platform for that. Guys, I do apologise if I'm I've said to Andrew, if I'm flooding it, tell me to pull back. I just certainly don't want to hijack the page, but I'm just very excited to share what I'm up to. And yeah, there you go. So, new life in the shed. I'm going to leave you now with just some little bits and pieces to have a little bit of a look at.